What is up, everybody? It is day 2 of the 10 Tips in 10 Days Challenge. I'm doing it on presenting. Check out my day 1, which was on touch. So number 2, very important when you're going to do any type of a meeting or presentation, is creating the proper environment. Before you even begin your presentation is huge. You can have the greatest content, you can have the best presentation, the best handout, all that different things you can have already in your favor, but if the environment sucks, no one's gonna learn, no one's gonna retain the information, no one's gonna wanna be there. And so I'm gonna give you 3 easy tips within tip number 2 of this challenge, right? To create an easy environment. So the first one is music. It seems like a no-brainer, but I cannot tell you how many meetings I've been to where you get there, everyone gets there 10, 15 minutes early, and you're sitting around and it's boring and it's quiet and it's kind of awkward. Music cuts all the silence. And so you should always have music going because it gives people an opportunity to talk to someone where they don't feel like everyone's listening. If you're someone who's shy sitting in the corner, at least you're kind of vibing out to some music, right? But at the end of the day, music can also help put people in the mood you want them to go into, right? So if you have an upbeat, exciting sales meeting, something going on, pick music that's gonna put people in that frame of mind right off the bat. Step 1, music, right? Step number 2 is always that you need to have something visual, right? So when people walk in, they need to have a cool handout, something on the PowerPoint presentation, something for them to look at visually where they get a clue of kind of what they may be in for. One of my favorites is having up on the PowerPoint presentation like some kind of thought-provoking big statement, right? Or some kind of image or something where they're like, what's going on? But I kind of know what's going on. So something thought-provoking, maybe some type of a handout where they can go through and say like, oh, I know what's going on, to kind of lower the stress of like, hey, what is this workshop about? Or what is this presentation about? Always have something for them to kind of look at. Number 3, which is very important, is you need to do something in your environment that creates conversation amongst people. Because when conversation is going, things feel lively, things feel exciting. And as a facilitator or presenter, you can even walk around and stir the pot by getting that conversation going. There's multiple ways to do it. One of the easiest ways, and one of my favorite ways, is name badges. So even if you know someone of the people there, or you know a lot of the people there, who cares if you know it's the same people you've been doing meetings for 30 years, whatever. Have them put on a name badge and put their name, but underneath their name, have them put their nickname, right? And what that does is it's very simple. You could put up on the board or even on your PowerPoint presentation, hey, whoever you're sitting next to, you gotta find out why their nickname is their nickname, right? Because half the room is gonna have really funny nickname stories. And then what you can do when you start the presentation is you can even go by a new rule where I'm not gonna call you by your name, I'm only gonna call you by your nickname. And when I call you by your nickname, then you have to share with the group real quick why you have that nickname, right? So you're creating a fun environment. No matter how old we get, we think we're super serious professional business people. Everybody wants to enjoy where they are when they're there, right? If it's a business meeting, they wanna learn, they wanna get information taken across, but they also wanna enjoy themselves and have a good time. Create that environment, okay? And the last thing I will say, this is a bonus, so it's number 4, which is a bonus, is if you typically have meetings with the same people, let's say it's a monthly board meeting or something like that, right? Or a big, you get all these directors or something together once a month. Just because you sit in the same place every time and you have the same meeting every time, doesn't mean you have to do that. And so one tip to create a really cool environment, if you have a special meeting or a really cool content you want to get across, is change up the environment. If everyone is expecting to come in and have the same meeting they always have, that's what they're going to experience. That's what they're going to get. So if they all sit in these kind of shapes like this, right, in the chairs, you come in and now it's set into a U. Maybe you ditch the chairs and you put it in bean bags. Something to create a different environment, which will for you oftentimes create a different result. So stay tuned for tip number 3 tomorrow.